Exploring the basement. As the two strangers slowly regained consciousness, they found themselves in a dimly lit basement. The air was heavy with a musty smell, and the only source of light came from a small barred window near the ceiling. Confusion and fear washed over them as they tried to make sense of their surroundings. The first thing they noticed was the lifeless body of a man lying in the center of the room. His eyes stared blankly into the distance, and a pool of blood surrounded his head. The sight sent shivers down their spines, and they couldn't help but wonder what had transpired in this eerie place. With their hearts pounding, they mustered the courage to examine their own predicament. It became apparent that they were both chained to the walls by their ankles, restricting their movement and adding to their sense of helplessness. The cold metal links dug into their skin, a constant reminder of their captivity. As they took in their surroundings, they noticed the various objects scattered around the basement. Old furniture, broken tools, and dusty boxes filled the space, hinting at a forgotten past. The strangers realized that if they were to have any chance of escaping, they needed to explore their surroundings and search for clues. With cautious steps, they began to explore the basement, their eyes scanning every corner for any sign of hope or a way out. The walls were made of rough concrete, and the floor was covered in a layer of dirt and grime. The air was stale, and the silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of their own breathing. They approached the lifeless body in the center of the room, their hearts heavy with a mix of curiosity and dread. Carefully, they examined the corpse, hoping to find any clues that could shed light on their situation. The man's clothes were tattered and stained, suggesting that he had been here for some time. In his weakened hand, they discovered a weapon, its cold metal surface reflecting the dim light. As they continued their exploration, they discovered hidden compartments within the walls and beneath the floorboards. These compartments held a collection of objects that seemed out of place in such a grim setting. There were old photographs, letters, and newspaper clippings, all hinting at a life that once thrived within these walls. The strangers realized that these objects held the key to unraveling the mystery of their presence in the basement. They meticulously examined each item, searching for any hidden messages or connections. The photographs revealed a group of people, their faces filled with joy and laughter, but the strangers couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked beneath the surface. As they delved deeper into their exploration, they stumbled upon a series of cryptic messages scrawled on the walls. The messages seemed to be written in code, their meaning obscured by a web of symbols and numbers. Determined to decipher the messages, they meticulously studied each one, hoping to uncover a clue that would lead them closer to the truth. Hours turned into days as they pieced together the puzzle, connecting the dots between the objects, the messages, and the lifeless body in the center of the room. Slowly, a picture began to emerge, revealing a web of deceit, betrayal, and hidden motives. The basement, once a place of confinement, became a labyrinth of secrets waiting to be unraveled. The strangers knew that their only chance of escape lay in understanding the truth behind their captivity. With each discovery, they grew closer to uncovering the dark secrets that bound them together and finding a way to break free from the chains that held them captive. Finding hidden objects. As the two strangers took a moment to gather their thoughts and assess their situation, they realized that they needed to search the basement for any clues that could help them unravel the mystery of their presence. With their ankles chained to the walls, their movements were limited, but they were determined to find a way out. The dimly lit basement seemed to hold many secrets, and they knew that finding hidden objects could be the key to unlocking the truth. They began their search by carefully examining their immediate surroundings. The walls were made of cold, damp concrete, and there were shelves filled with dusty boxes and old tools. The air was heavy with a musty smell, adding to the eerie atmosphere. With a sense of urgency, they started to explore the shelves, hoping to find something that could aid their escape. Their hands brushed against cobwebs as they carefully picked up each item, examining it for any hidden significance. They discovered a set of rusty keys, a worn-out flashlight, and a tattered notebook filled with cryptic symbols and scribbled notes. The discovery of the keys sparked a glimmer of hope within them. They realized that these keys might hold the answer to unlocking their chains. With renewed determination, they tried each key in the lock, one by one. After several attempts, one of the keys finally turned, freeing one of them from their restraints. They felt a surge of relief and gratitude, but their focus remained on finding a way to free the other. Continuing their search, they stumbled upon a hidden compartment behind one of the shelves. Inside, they found a small box. As they opened it, they discovered a collection of photographs, each depicting a different person. The photographs seemed to be taken in various locations, and the people in them appeared to be connected in some way. They couldn't help but wonder if these individuals held the key to their predicament. As they examined the photographs, they noticed that some of them had markings on the back. These markings seemed to be coordinates, leading to specific locations. It became clear to them that they needed to decipher these cryptic messages and visit these places to uncover the truth. With the worn-out flashlight in hand, they ventured deeper into the basement, searching for more hidden objects and clues. They discovered a hidden compartment in the floor, revealing a map of the surrounding area. The map had markings indicating different points of interest, including abandoned buildings, old factories, and even a cemetery. Realizing that these locations might hold the answers they were seeking, they decided to visit each one, following the coordinates they had found on the back of the photographs. They knew that by piecing together the puzzle, they would be one step closer to understanding their situation and finding a way to escape. As they embarked on their journey, they couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation. The unknown awaited them beyond the confines of the basement, and they knew that they would encounter dangers and challenges along the way. However, their determination to uncover the truth and regain their freedom pushed them forward. Little did they know that their search for hidden objects would not only lead them to the truth, but also to a shared connection that would bind them together in ways they never expected. The objects they found would not only serve as tools for their escape, but also as pieces of a larger puzzle that would reveal the dark secrets of their pasts. With each hidden object they discovered, their understanding of the situation deepened, and their resolve to find justice grew stronger. They knew that their journey would be filled with obstacles, but they were prepared to face the unknown, armed with the knowledge that they were not alone in their quest for freedom. As they continued their search, they couldn't help but wonder who was behind their captivity and why they had been chosen. The answers lay hidden within the depths of the basement, waiting to be uncovered. And with each hidden object they found, they moved one step closer to unraveling the truth and ultimately escaping the chains that bound them. Deciphering cryptic messages. As the two strangers found themselves chained in the basement, they realized that they needed to find a way to escape. They began searching the room for any clues that could help them unravel the mystery of their presence and ultimately decipher the cryptic messages that seemed to be scattered throughout the basement. The room was dimly lit, with only a small window high up on one wall, allowing a faint glimmer of light to filter through. The strangers carefully examined their surroundings, hoping to find something that would shed light on their situation. They noticed strange symbols etched into the walls, forming what appeared to be a series of messages. With a sense of urgency, they started deciphering the cryptic messages, hoping that they would provide some answers. The symbols were intricate and unfamiliar, resembling a language they had never encountered before. It was clear that whoever had orchestrated their captivity had gone to great lengths to keep their intentions hidden. The strangers began by studying the symbols, trying to identify any patterns or recurring motifs. They meticulously recorded each symbol and its corresponding position in the messages, hoping that this would help them crack the code. They spent hours poring over the cryptic messages, their determination growing with each passing moment. As they delved deeper into the messages, they started noticing subtle variations in the symbols. Some symbols appeared more frequently than others, suggesting that they held greater significance. They hypothesized that these symbols might represent common letters or words in the English language, providing a starting point for their decryption efforts. Using their knowledge of language and pattern recognition, the strangers began to piece together the meaning behind the symbols. They started by comparing the frequency of the symbols with the frequency of letters in the English language. By mapping the most common symbols to the most common letters, they were able to make some initial progress in deciphering the messages. However, the process was far from straightforward. The cryptic messages seemed to be intentionally convoluted, with symbols representing multiple letters or even entire words. The strangers had to rely on their intuition and logical reasoning to make educated guesses about the meaning behind each symbol. They also realized that context played a crucial role in deciphering the messages. Certain symbols appeared in specific positions within the messages, suggesting that they might have different meanings depending on their context. The strangers meticulously analyzed the messages, looking for patterns and clues that would help them assign the correct meanings to each symbol. As they continued their efforts, the strangers discovered that the cryptic messages contained fragments of information about their captor and the motive behind their captivity. They found references to a hidden treasure, a long-standing grudge, and a desire for revenge. It became clear that their captor had carefully crafted these messages to taunt and confuse them, making their escape even more challenging. Despite the complexity of the task, the strangers refused to give up. They worked tirelessly, collaborating and bouncing ideas off each other. Their determination grew stronger with each breakthrough, as they realized that deciphering the cryptic messages was their only hope of escaping the basement and uncovering the truth behind their predicament. Days turned into weeks, and the strangers made steady progress in deciphering the messages. They began to piece together fragments of sentences, slowly unraveling the hidden meaning behind the symbols. With each decrypted message, they gained a deeper understanding of their captor's twisted motives and the steps they needed to take to secure their freedom. Finally, after countless hours of deciphering, the strangers managed to crack the code. The cryptic messages revealed a series of instructions that would lead them to the key that unlocked their chains. With newfound hope and determination, they followed the instructions, navigating through hidden passages and solving intricate puzzles along the way. As they reached the final destination, they discovered a hidden compartment containing the key to their freedom. With trembling hands, they unlocked their chains and embraced the sweet taste of liberation. They had successfully deciphered the cryptic messages, overcoming the challenges that had bound them to the basement. The strangers emerged from the basement, forever changed by their harrowing experience. They had not only escaped their physical confinement, but also unraveled the truth behind their captivity. The cryptic messages had served as a testament to their resilience, resourcefulness, and unwavering determination. Their journey had taught them the power of collaboration, the importance of perseverance, and the strength that lies within when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. As they stepped into the light, they knew that they would carry these lessons with them, forever grateful for the opportunity to decipher the cryptic messages that had led them to their freedom. Piecing together the puzzle. As the two strangers sat there, chained to the walls of the mysterious basement, they knew they had to find a way to escape. But before they could do that, they needed to piece together the puzzle of how they ended up in this bizarre situation. They began by examining their surroundings, taking in every detail of the basement. The walls were made of cold, damp concrete, and the air was heavy with a musty smell. The only source of light came from a small barred window near the ceiling, casting eerie shadows across the room. Their attention then turned to the lifeless body in the center of the room. It was a man, with a bullet wound in his head and a gun clutched in his hand. The sight sent shivers down their spines, and they couldn't help but wonder if this man had something to do with their predicament. With a mixture of fear and curiosity, they cautiously approached the corpse, examining it for any clues. They noticed that the man was dressed in a suit, suggesting that he was not a random victim but someone of importance. His face was frozen in a look of terror, as if he had seen something unimaginable before his demise. As they searched the pockets of the man's suit, they found a wallet containing identification. His name was Jonathan Sinclair, a wealthy businessman known for his involvement in shady dealings. This revelation only deepened the mystery, leaving them with more questions than answers. The strangers then turned their attention to the weapon in the man's hand. It was a sleek, silver revolver, still warm from recent use. They carefully examined it, hoping to find any fingerprints or other evidence that could lead them to the truth. However, the gun was wiped clean, leaving no trace of its previous owner. Realizing that they needed more information, they decided to explore the rest of the basement. They searched every nook and cranny, hoping to find any hidden objects or clues that could shed light on their situation. They discovered a small desk tucked away in a corner, covered in dust and cobwebs. As they rummaged through the drawers of the desk, they found a stack of old newspapers. The headlines spoke of a series of unsolved murders that had plagued the city in recent months. The victims were all prominent figures in the criminal underworld, and the police seemed no closer to finding the culprits. The strangers couldn't help but wonder if there was a connection between these murders and their current predicament. Was Jonathan Sinclair somehow involved in these crimes? And if so, why were they now chained in his basement? Their search also led them to a hidden compartment in the desk, containing a collection of cryptic messages. The messages were written in code, making it clear that someone had gone to great lengths to keep their secrets hidden. Determined to decipher the messages, the strangers began working together, using their combined skills and knowledge to crack the code. As they pieced together the puzzle, they started to uncover a web of deceit and betrayal. The messages revealed a network of criminals, each with their own motives and agendas. It became apparent that Jonathan Sinclair had been involved in a dangerous game, and his death was just the beginning. With each new piece of information, the strangers grew closer to unraveling the truth. They discovered that they were not random victims, but pawns in a much larger scheme. Someone had orchestrated their presence in the basement, using them as leverage in a deadly game of power and revenge. As they continued to piece together the puzzle, they realized that their only chance of escape was to work together. They needed to trust each other, share their knowledge and skills, and overcome the obstacles that lay ahead. The basement became their temporary sanctuary, a place where they could plan their next move and prepare for the unknown. Little did they know that their journey would take them far beyond the confines of the basement. They would face dangers, navigate through challenges, and confront the unexpected. But through it all, they would remain determined to uncover the truth, find justice, and ultimately achieve their freedom. And so, with the puzzle slowly coming together, the two strangers prepared themselves for the journey that lay ahead. They knew that the answers they sought would not come easily, but they were willing to do whatever it took to break free from the chains that bound them and find the closure and redemption they so desperately sought.